Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jim Hawkins who lived with his mother by the sea. They ran a quiet inn where travelers stayed. One day, an old, grumpy sailor named Billy Bones arrived, and he brought trouble with him. Billy was always nervous, looking over his shoulder and warning Jim to
watch out for the one-legged pirate.
One stormy night, a gang of scary pirates came to the inn, searching for Billy and something he had hidden. In the chaos, Jim found an old map in Billy's things, a treasure map leading to an island where gold was buried. Jim was so excited, he showed the map to his friends, Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney, who decided they'd go on a treasure hunt. They hired a ship called the Hispaniola and gathered a crew to help sail it. Among the crew was a one-legged cook named Long John Silver. Silver was friendly to Jim, and he was always cheerful and singing pirate songs. Jim thought Silver was great, but he didn't know that Silver was actually a dangerous pirate who wanted the treasure for himself. Jim admired the way Silver could tell stories about the sea. His tales of adventure were exciting, and he made Jim laugh with his jokes and clever sayings. Silver often called Jim lad and gave him advice on how to navigate the ship or understand the ways of the crew. As they sailed closer to Treasure Island, Jim overheard Silver and some of the crew planning to take over the ship. Jim quickly told Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney, and they came up with a plan to protect themselves. Finally, they arrived at Treasure Island. Silver and his men went ashore to start looking for the treasure. Jim, curious and brave, sneaked off the ship to explore the island on his own. In the jungle, he met a strange man named Ben Gunn, who had been stranded there for years. Ben was kind and told Jim he knew about the treasure. He offered to help Jim and his friends if they would help him get off the island. Jim agreed and hurried back to tell Dr. Livesey and the others. Jim's friends had set up camp in a small wooden fort called a stockade. The pirates tried to attack them, and there was a big battle with cannonballs and gunfire. But Jim and his friends held off the pirates with the help of clever Ben Gunn. Jim decided to take a big risk to help his friends. He sneaked back to the ship, where some pirates were still waiting. After a tough struggle, Jim managed to take control of the ship and sail it to a safe place. Now he and his friends had the upper hand. The next morning, Jim and his friends marched through the jungle to find the treasure. They brought Silver with them as their prisoner. But when they finally reached the treasure's hiding spot, they found an empty hole. There was no treasure there. Just when Silver's men were about to get angry, Ben Gunn stepped forward with a big surprise.
The treasure isn't here. I found it a long time ago and hid it in a secret spot.
The pirates were shocked. They looked around at each other, unsure of what to do. Some started yelling, but Jim and his friends were ready. Working together, they made sure the pirates couldn't cause any more trouble. They tied them up and took their weapons away. The pirates knew they had lost, and their angry faces turned into frowns. Jim felt proud. Even though he was just a boy, he had helped stop a dangerous group of pirates and protect the treasure. After everything was safe, they started carrying the treasure to the Hispaniola. The chests were heavy, filled with shiny gold coins, sparkling jewels, and beautiful silver plates. It took a long time to move it all, but Jim didn't mind. Every step reminded him of how brave he had been and how far they had come. One quiet night, when the ship was almost back to the shore, Jim went to check on Long John Silver. But when he got to Silver's cabin, it was empty. Jim's heart raced. Silver had escaped. He must have sneaked away in the night, taking a small boat. On the table, Jim found a piece of paper with a short note. It said,
"A pirate always finds a way. Goodbye, lad, until we meet again."
Jim felt a mix of emotions. He was glad Silver was gone, but he also felt a little sad. Even though Silver was a tricky pirate, Jim had learned a lot from him. He admired how Silver stayed brave under pressure, thought quickly, and led with confidence. Silver had taught Jim that being clever and resourceful were just as important as being strong. Jim returned home, forever changed by his amazing adventure. He had found courage, faced pirates, and discovered treasure on a distant island. And though he was now a wealthy young man, he knew he would never forget the wild shores of Treasure Island, or the complicated, clever pirate named Long John Silver.